tyrants like Gavin Newsom just don't get it. Making good people defenseless does not make bad people harmless.
Yeah.
Instead of using the words gun control, they should use victim disarmament.
Yeah.
And if you believe in the Second Amendment, and if you believe that good people deserve the best tools to defend themselves and their families, then you should be a member of San Diego County Gun Owners.
That's us.
San Diego County Gun Owners makes it easy to connect with the community that's fighting to defend and restore your Second Amendment right. So become a member today. It's only $10. Go to sdcgo.org/join to become a member today.
The most effective $10 you're going to spend all
Absolutely.
month.
All right, we have guests. We have to behave ourselves. No food, no watches.
I already took pictures of their watches.
Already broke that.
I just tried. I can't.
They have really nice watches on.
I know. I like his too.
And then I found out from that Kim, I already took a picture of her husband's watch at gun prom.
He's just a fanatic. I'm telling you.
It's a sickness.
And then the next thing we get into is food.
Yeah, we talk about food a lot.
Well, see, I've been sitting here since noon. They don't ever bring me anything to eat.
That's right. We want you hungry.
So we start talking food. So
we're going to talk to Mark and Kimberly from Bollé.
Bollé? What's Bollé?
Was that?
I'm Julianne.
Oh, I'm sorry, Julianne. I thought so.
Yeah.
Oh, here we are. Oh, Kimberly Southwell. Oh, I got confused. I need to wear glasses, Julianne.
Yes, you do.
Mark, Julianne from Bollé, and then we're going to talk about Kimberly and with Kimberly from Women for Gun Rights later. I'm all confused. Save the date. So December 14th is our Christmas party. So save the date. We're actually going to have a big email go out tomorrow that you'll be able to RSVP on. And then we're going to advertise that and talk all about it so that you can come to our Christmas party. You might win a gun. It's going to be our best Christmas party yet. Food for purchase. We'll have some eggnog. We'll have some mistletoe. And we'll have guns and some other cool prizes that you guys might win. So SB2, I was on KUSI talking about SB2. Last week we had the meetings, and I wanted to take a minute and talk a little bit about SB2 right now. Because it keeps coming up. It's, T-minus a few weeks here, and then SB2 kicks in. So I wanted to talk about I don't want to rehash exactly what SB2 does, but on KUSI, they had me on Friday, and they talked all about SB2, or wanted me to talk all about SB2, which we did. We basically what it, in effect, is going to do is everybody that took the time to go through the training process, to go through the background check, to go and, pull out the application and pay the fee. Everybody that took all that time to do that, all the trained, sane, law-abiding gun owners who went through the proper channels and process to get their CCW will, in essence, no longer be able to carry anywhere outside of their home. This is not an example of a reasonable gun law. This is an example of an abuse of power. This is an example of everything that we've been saying for years. They're not so interested in gun safety. They're not so interested in, keeping people safe. They're interested in severely restricting your ability to own and use firearms for self-defense. And SB2 is proof positive that we were right all along. So there's a couple other pieces to SB2. But the big thing is, like I said, they want to make every place outside of your home a sensitive area. Medical facilities, public transportation, any kind of retail space, parks, you name it, they're going to make it a sensitive area. Whereas right now a sensitive area is like a school, a courthouse, city hall, those sorts of places. And this really is an example of how, you hear from the anti-gun side how, the gun people just won't compromise. Totally untrue. We've had these safe areas, schools, and we've had, city halls and government buildings, airports, etc. And really there hasn't been any pushback from gun owners. Gun owners have said, all right, if that's what you want to do, you want to have some safe areas, fine. But we are going to point out that well over 90% of mass shootings happen in a gun-free zone. But hey, if that's what you guys want to do, we'll compromise. And that's one of the many examples of us compromising. It's the other side that refuses to compromise. And this is exactly what SB2 is. It is not a compromise. It is a complete. There's nothing reasonable or no compromise when it comes to completely wiping out your ability to carry outside of your home. So we're focused on that. We have a lawsuit. CRPA has a lawsuit. We filed our lawsuit within 2 hours of the governor, signing the bill into law. And that's what we need to do to once a bill or once an initiative has gone this far. It starts out as an idea. You can stop it before it becomes more than just an idea, and then it moves into action. They start going to city councils or whatever, and you can stop it when it starts to move towards action. But once it turns into a written bill, and then once that bill turns into a law, and then once that law is being implemented, and that's when people, unfortunately, really start taking notice, and by then it's too late. The only thing left to do is file a lawsuit. So what I want to talk about is how to talk about SB2 right now. SB2, we're fighting it in the courts. We're hoping to get an injunction. We probably won't get an injunction before January 1st, so there will be at least one day in 2024, most likely, that it'll go into effect. But what I need you to know is that we're fighting back and we need your help. So can you influence a judge right now? No. Can you influence an attorney right now? No. Can you influence a legislator right now? Even if you can, it doesn't matter. It's already made it through the legislator. What can you do? Well, you can get everybody to understand how serious and big this is, and then get them to join San Diego County gun owners. Get them to donate to Firearms Policy Coalition that's helping us on this lawsuit. This is something extremely important. This is an all-hands-on-deck. This is as big an emergency as it gets. One of San Diego County gun owners' biggest victories is making sure that you can get a CCW in San Diego, and this is taking that pretty much completely away. I mean, you'll still be able to get the permit, but then you won't be able to carry anywhere. So I've been getting a lot of questions, comments, concerns about that, a lot of phone calls, texts, and emails about that. I want you all to know there is a lawsuit. We are working on an injunction. The injunction probably won't happen before January 1st, and the only thing you can do right now is educate your friends and then promote them to action, which is supporting the organizations that have been fighting this and that are going to continue to fight this, and we're going to win in court. So join San Diego County gun owners. Donate to Firearms Policy Coalition. If you still have money left over, then give to CRPA, California Rifle and Pistol Association, because they're fighting this thing too. That's what needs to happen right now. That's the immediate avenue of attack. So, Alisha, are you getting a lot of feedback on this, or people asking you questions?
I'm getting a lot of feedback from people that know just enough to know that there's something, but they don't fully understand what's happening. What they seem to be most upset about is the fact that their 8-hour class is now going to be 16. And they don't even realize the whole safe space angle of what's happening. So they're very uninformed.
So, as bad, so it doubles the price going from 8 hours to 16.
At least.
Which, harms people that can't afford it. But they don't even understand the big serious part.
They don't.
They just go, what? I got to take 2 hours, two days worth of classes now.
Right.
Well, yeah, but that's,
Well, let me ask a silly question. So
you're good at that, Dave.
Yeah.
That's your specialty.
What about content?
Content?
I mean, what more content are you going to have to add to the class?
They've outlined they want some mental health.
Well, for the class, though, what other curriculum could they add? I think you could add a ton of curriculum.
Yeah,
I think
there's room.
There's
so
no
you don't
loss.
think that's an issue?
No.
But they're not telling you what you have to teach?
There's some innuendo in there that they've hinted at what they want to add, but I don't believe, from what I've seen, it's not a firm outline.
But then
there's some mentions.
And what Alicia's saying is they also say they want to go through some kind of psychological evaluation.
Mm-hmm.
What they're probably going to do is copy what some of the cities in Riverside have done, and it is not a psychological evaluation. It's a personality test. It doesn't test to see if you're crazy or not. It tests to see if you have the personality to become a cop or a fireman. And there's no requirement to have the same personality as a cop or a fireman. Yeah. None of this makes any sense, and that's by design.
Hey, if you own a gun in California, you should have an attorney that specializes in California gun laws on your speed dial. Because if you ever have legal matters that involve firearms, you need California firearms lawyer John Dillon, especially if you have questions about red flag laws, gun registration, gun transportation, or maybe you need to know that your guns are California compliant. Our trusted firearms attorney is John Dillon. John Dillon specializes in California gun laws. Put his number in your phone right now. That's 760-642-7150. John Dillon's a California firearms lawyer. He is the best. That phone number, 760-642-7150.
Eye protection is a big part of gun safety, a huge part of gun safety. And we have some folks from a fantastic company, Bollé, that we've all heard of, not just for gun safety, but I think for fashion and style as well. Bollé is a leader. So we have Mark Van Buskirk and Julianne Billings-Reardon in to talk about Bollé. How are you guys?
Doing great today. Thank you for having us.
You bet. Thanks for being here. I'm really excited. I know you've been here before, Mark.
I was here probably about 7 years ago.
Yeah, back in the day.
Back in the day with a really good Navy SEAL friend of mine when we actually were introducing Predator War Paint, a very cool camouflage face paint for the military.
Right.
Yeah. And you're with Bollé. What's your about your? Let's start with your background.
Okay, so it's interesting. I've spent probably almost 40 years of my life taking care of those that are taking care of us. So military, police, first responders, all those that are out there holding the line, men and women. I've probably had the best career of anybody that I know because I've traveled the world, going back to my first serious job, which was Oakley. I was the founder of Oakley's military and government sales and distribution. I spent 26 years with Oakley and developed combat eyewear, boots, gloves, and goggles for all that protect and serve. An amazing run. Can't say enough about that brand. We built great product. From there, I developed a company or launched a company called GovX. It's today the largest e-commerce site for those that protect and serve. So think of an Amazon for military, firefighters, first responders, a restricted site. So only if you serve do you have access to the brands that want to honor you for your service and give you their products at a very reasonable price. After that, I spent 5 years there. That company's doing great, but I left and joined my Navy SEAL buddy and developed the camouflage face paint for the military. That was the last time I was here.
Yeah.
Spent 2 years developing that with Nick and moved on when Spy gave me a call and said, Mark, you've done a lot building brands for law enforcement and military. Come over to Spy and build one for us. Spent 2 years building out their military division, and then Spy was acquired by Bollé. So I spent the last 5 years developing a military program for what we call Bollé Safety Standard Issue, or the acronym BSSI.
Not a bad, I think it's, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong. I think it'd be easier to sell to the civilian market than it is, government or specifically military. I mean, they have, different standards. They have a lot of red tape. I'd imagine it's difficult. Why is it important to sell to the military? Why is it important to focus on military? I mean, I guess what I'm saying, it's probably an easier buck to make in the civilian world, but it seems important to you to support military. Is that?
I think it's important to protect those that are protecting us, and that's been my life for 40 years or more. As I say, I've traveled the world back in the day for that company with the big O. Made a lot of great friends, lost some great friends in the wars that we've been fighting, but I was out there always trying to provide eye protection, and over the course of time saved a lot of men and women's eyes, got great letters from their moms, their dads, their brothers, their sisters that we saved some eyes. So that was awesome. And when I got the opportunity to come to Bollé, I saw that Bollé, a brand that has been around since 1880, so we're not another Me Too brand. Bollé has been around since 1880, still headquartered in Lyon, France, with great technology behind them. But many people here in the U.S. don't remember the brand unless they were skiing in a Bollé goggle back in the 80s.
Yeah.
Right.
So my thought was, let's build a division and bring those that want to have the very best in eye protection at an affordable price, but set the standard as to what I had built over at that brand with the big O. And by that I mean we wanted everything that other brand had done at an affordable price, but we wanted to exceed what they had done in two areas, and I believe we have. One, very important, is we have a technology called Platinum. I got to tell you, when we do trade shows with Julianne, who's here with me today, and I'll have her speak to some of the trade shows and the marketing that we're doing, but when we do trade shows, and a guy that's young comes up, he's in his 20s, and he says, what's Bollé? Bollé, I've never heard of it. I said, no, first of all, it's Bollé. Where's your dad? Because your dad skied him in the 80s, and he will remember those great ski goggles that we built. And as we get through the conversation, I show him our anti-fog, anti-scratch technology, which is called Platinum, and they give me their glasses that they have on top of their head, and they fog and ours don't. their eyes immediately open up and they say, "Oh my gosh!" I actually give out my phone number. I said, "Hey, give me a call if these ever fog." I never hear from anybody.
So, Julianne, you're the role you play with Bollé is a marketing role, like a sales role. Is that?
Yeah, I'm the all of North America marketing manager for director. Seems like it for Canada, the U.S., and South America.
Wow. Are you guys headquartered here in San Diego?
We are. We're up in Carlsbad. That's North American headquarters, but our corporate headquarters are in Lyon, France.
Yeah,
that's where
right.
Bollé brands. Yeah,
It's unbelievable
years.
how many we have so many cool companies headquartered in San Diego. I forget. I think it was. Where did I was just driving by some place and found, it was Bilstein. Bilstein's headquartered here in San Diego, too, and I just drove by their headquarters, like, oh, hey, cool. But I didn't realize that Bollé was. Now, from marketing, Mark's right. When a couple years ago, when it was either Lance or Rich or somebody brought in Bollé glasses, I was like, I'm nowhere near classy enough to wear Bollé. Like, they were fancy. They weren't, the working man's glasses, and I'm certainly no slave to fashion or, style. And I thought, oh, man, I feel like an imposter. But the stuff that you guys brought in, extremely affordable and extremely high quality. So how do you market to guys like me?
Well, and before you go any farther than that, if anybody knows Michael Schwartz, they fit your noggin.
Yeah, my big head.
I just wanted to say, because you don't wear sunglasses, generally speaking, right?
Everything's tough. It's tough for me to find watches. It's tough for me to find hats. It's tough for me to find glasses.
When we gave you the Bollés, you went, oh, okay.
Yeah, they were super
right.
comfy. I believe it's from your Gorilla line. No, I'm kidding. It's ridiculous.
Dump.
So how do you? So I'm 40. I'm going to be 48 here soon. Oh, I hated saying that out loud. But I'm going to be 48 here soon. And just like Mark said, I remember you guys being way classier than me. That was my impression. But you guys are making high quality, extremely affordable stuff. How do you market to guys like me?
Well, we're out there marketing to everyone. Of course, everyone did know us from the ski goggle years, but this is different. This line is different. It is a ballistic mil-spec rated line, right?
Yeah.
So depending on what I'll say outdoor firearm shooting or groups, military, first responder, all the encompass of firearm enthusiasts, depends on what you're doing is what we're going to put you in for the fit. So our whole line, the Bollé Safety Standard Issue line, has, as Mark mentioned before, the platinum technology, and it also has for the narrow face and any type.
And the not so
face.
narrow face.
And the not so narrow.
And we don't even say that, but we have you try it on, and we have you try on the full line to see what fits best for you.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So depending on what situation what environment you're in, we're going to pair you up with that. But I'll tell you, a lot of them fit across the board.
Yeah.
Yeah, they really do, and they're really lightweight.
Yeah.
They don't.
They disappear.
With the temples and the nose bridge. I wear them indoors, outdoors, ranges, and I put my ears on, my hat on, and I don't even know I'm wearing them.
My
They're
wife
that
wears
comfortable.
them when she does weed whacking.
There you go.
Smart woman.
And
Yeah.
she's had a pair since the last time you were there, and it's the only pair she has not lost. I don't know what you got a magnet on, or some kind of a thing that they just don't lose. And she uses them every single time.
And that's what we hear. We love these eyewear.
Yeah.
What is this that makes it so different from what else is out there?
Comfort.
And it's the comfort, it's the style they have now. It is stylish eyewear,
yeah.
the whole line of it, and as well as the anti-fog. So you can't scratch them, you can't fog them.
Right.
I've been at the company now over 3 years. I'm using the same ones indoor and outdoor, and I have not. There's
Right.
no marks on them whatsoever.
I know.
I don't think people don't really realize, I mean, it sounds silly, but I don't think people realize just how, I think they realize how important their eyes are, but I don't think people realize how delicate, how like, man, one wrong move and you're blind,
Right.
for life. It's pretty serious. Meanwhile, I would, regularly go in and buy, $150, safety glasses at Home Depot on my way to the range. Not the way to go. Not the way to go. And it was when you guys were showing me, when I was looking through your product, really realizing how much research, how much technology goes into it. Pretty phenomenal, and I don't think it's something that people think about enough until things go bad. And then it's probably too late.
Your eyes are worth it.
Yeah. Hindsight's 20/20 when
Yeah.
you don't have hindsight.
Right.
That's 20/20.
So anybody can put out a pair of protective eyewear at an affordable price. You see it all the time in Home Depots and Lowe's and all of that. My vision when I came over to the brand was to build to the standards of that company I spent 25 years of my life at. I didn't want any compromises. And when you take a look at BSSI, whether you look online or whether you go into Ace Uniform or North County Shooting Club, whatever it might be, you will see that nothing was spared. I mean, even how we developed the box and the micro bag, nothing was spared. I wanted to make sure that we met the levels of that big brand that were out there. So optical clarity, impact resistance. But where can we separate ourselves from all the other brands that are out there selling to military and law enforcement and first responders? And I could sit here for half an hour and name the brands. I know every single one of them. Where could we separate ourselves?
When we get back, I want you just mentioned BSSI. When we get back on the other side of the break here, I want you to tell people what does BSSI stand for and then what it means.
Hey, you ever wanted to get a pilot's license?
Yes.
Well, here in San Diego, pilots can fly almost every day, which makes San Diego one of the best places to learn to fly in the world. Learn to fly with San Diego Flight Training International. Check out this deal just for gun owner radio listeners. 1 hour of flight school, and with an instructor, that is, and you do get to fly. Normally that's a $400 hit, but for listeners, you get it for $350. Get started is easy. Just give them a call at 858-569-1822. Learn to fly with STFTI. That's 858-569-1822.
Yeah, growing up, I couldn't afford any name brands. I think I'd buy whatever, convenience store, crappy glasses, Panama Jack special, whatever. And whole new world when I was an adult and actually got some quality glasses. Whole new world. And then in my, I turned like 40 and boom, my vision went right off a cliff. I mean, I was an eagle eye, and then I swear my 40th birthday, it just dropped right off a cliff. And it really, really was an eye-opener on, just how important it was to take care of your eyes. Those two things especially had a huge impact. So you said a term, BSSI. Tell us what BSSI is.
So BSSI is the acronym we've given to Bollé Safety Standard Issue. And my idea for coming up with that was back in the day when I was with that company with the O, I owned U.S. Standard Issue, or USSI. So everybody knows essentially that Standard Issue is product that's issued to those that are protect and serve. Mm-hmm. So when I came together with Bollé, I said, listen, I know what's worked. Let's go with BSSI as our category and line within Bollé. But you have to understand, as I mentioned earlier, Bollé has been around since 1880. The safety division, which is a separate division under the Bollé brands, has been around since 1950. We've been protecting eyes since 1950. If you go back to 1880, Bollé was actually, they made hair combs and brushes as they started. But 1950, safety. And today, Bollé sells to many of the top 100 Fortune brands, and they also sell to 88 countries around the world. So their technology is there, and with their technology, we were able to bring together BSSI.
That's interesting. That's cool. So, your focus has been on military. Is it? Who in the military is using Bollé, I guess is my next question.
A lot
is like when I say that, like, what job do you have in the military where you
it can be everybody from.
I was going to say, who isn't?
Yeah, who isn't? It can be military police. It can be people on the flight line. It can be people on ships. It's frankly anybody that needs eye protection. They can be working on machinery. They can be working on aircraft. In any area where you need eye protection, you can be out on the range qualifying. Wherever you need eye protection, that's who is buying BSSI.
So when they're designing eye safety, glasses for the shooting community, how do they take that into, like, how do you how do you do the calculations there? You know what I mean? Like, how do you go, hey, look, if you're going to be shooting a gun, this is the type of danger your eyes could be in. Therefore, we need to design it this way. Like, how do they do that calculus?
Well, I'm going to turn this question over to Julianne because Julianne actually is a shooter, and actually, we have to have a little bit of Julianne's background first, so you know who you're listening to.
Yeah, give us your background.
Well, recently, I looked it up in the U.S. Bureau with the ophthalmologist, and the amount of eye injuries a year is over 20,000, and that's on work sites.
Wow.
So take that into account. That is, we don't know about what that is maybe in the military or the law enforcement or first responders. So remember the Christmas Story? You're going to shoot your eye out. Okay, so you got to I think of that.
It's the season.
It's
in fact, I think it's 40 years today.
It is
that Christmas Story came out.
I think so.
40 years
they
today.
did the big thing. I think it's coming up again.
But anyway, so you'll shoot your eye out. You want to make sure no one shoots their eye out.
Right.
And you don't even have numbers on home injuries.
No, the home injuries. No.
Which has got to be massive.
Sure. So we have gun safety. I always say now when you go into the range, you have to have your eye safety, your ears and your eyes, right? So when I go in there, and a lot of it is on site at the gun ranges, outdoors, indoors, are shooting the competitions. We got brand ambassadors that are now wearing these and they love them. And then they put them out there, on their own platform, social media platform. So for me personally, I mentioned before, I love a pair called Cillian Plus. Is a copper lens. It's indoors, it's outdoors, it cuts down on the glare. But I know every single one of these lines that I'm wearing is that mil-spec ballistic rated. I will not. I've seen eye injuries on the range where it's hit and it was severely cut or damaged. You can lose an eye easily.
It's over.
Everyone knows that, right? Yeah, you're blind. These, I've actually been to a show, and we were at Modern Day Marine over a year ago, and we was with our X1000 goggles. They could not shoot. They did an indoor range test at the show, and they could not send probably about it was a air gun, I think, equivalent to a 38. Couldn't shoot through it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Holy
so
cow.
that's what
Couldn't shoot through
goes
it.
through my head is these are safe. I am so protected and safe with my eyes, no matter what.
And look how much more confident you feel.
Exactly.
Because I don't think that, that's way over designed, right? I mean, no one's shooting you in the eye with a 38.
No.
Really what you got to worry about is shrapnel, blowback, casings,
Frag.
that kind of stuff.
Alec Baldwin.
Yeah.
I had a Dave.
He'll shoot you in the face.
That's inappropriate. That's an inappropriate way too soon.
Yeah, but you loved it.
I actually went to a range, and let me think. How did I rented. I got to think this through for a second. I rented a 454. Yeah, I rented a 454 because I just wanted to try it, and they gave me 44 Magnum ammo because it was a rental, so you had to use their ammo, and they gave me a bag of 44 Magnum. Now, 44 Magnum, smaller than 454. That like physically actually smaller, and I'm shooting this thing and I was getting such blowback, and I'd never shot a 454 before, so I'm thinking, man, this is a lot of smoke and whatever. Well, it wasn't. It was like powder and it was not good. And I pulled the casings out and they were split, because they didn't fit in the chambers correctly.
Right.
And I realized how this was bad, and basically I looked at my I don't remember what glasses I was wearing. But they were all pitted, from the blowback. Yeah. I mean, that kind of stuff happens. Yeah. That's the real danger.
That is, and that's why I love this range, and not just because I work at the company. It's doing its job. It's keeping me safe and my colleagues safe, and anyone that else is wearing them. That's our number one priority is safety.
So do you guys must get. What's a really cool customer story you guys have heard? Do you have a favorite? Do you have someone wrote a letter and said, "Hey, I can see thanks to you guys," or anything in particular jump out? I totally put you on the spot.
Yeah.
No, actually, I have a pretty cool customer story from the recent all that's taking place in the war with Israel, and we were at the recent IECP show. And a gentleman walked up to me and he said, Mark, I need some eyewear. We need to send it over today. What can you do to help us? And we pride ourselves on customer service, and we pride ourselves on helping those that need safety. So I can't say it's an amazing story. I have plenty of those too. But I will tell you, the folks that I was working with were never so thankful because our team jumped on this and absolutely helped those in need and sent a lot of eyewear over to help the IDF.
Wow, nice.
It was pretty spectacular, and I felt really good about it because he was in a show where there were a lot of other companies there, but I know that we did what we needed to do and we reacted quickly. So there's a lot of other stories where we saved eyes and things like this, but just that's the most recent one that comes to mind.
There was a big increase in gun ownership basically as a result of COVID and some of the riots that happened soon after COVID. We were seeing people from all walks of life getting into gun ownership. How have you guys seen the market evolving and then just over the last 10, 15 years? I think that gun ownership has increased, especially for self-defense reasons. I don't think not for hunting, not collecting necessarily. I think a lot more people are carrying and buying for self-defense, especially women. How have you guys seen? How has that affected the market, or how has the market developed as a result of new shooters and such a broad variety?
This gets back to what have we built with Bollé Safety Standard Issue, and certainly those that want protection will go out and buy a gun, but they need to train. They need to understand how to handle the gun, and certainly that is not inexpensive. So it gets back to my thought that we needed to build high-quality eyewear but make it affordable as well. So with the cost of ammunition and training and instruction and licensing and all the different things that you need out there, we wanted to be sure that we provided great eye protection at an affordable price, and that's what we've done. If you take a look at what we've built with Bollé Safety Standard Issue, the meat and potatoes of our line will fall in the $25 price point. And I got to tell you,
Wow.
When you see what we're building at $25, you ask, how did you do it? Well, we have over 100 years of experience in how to build great eyewear.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, your glasses, there used to be a pretty deep distinction between glasses you'd wear on the range and glasses you'd wear off the range, and that's eliminated with you guys. The glasses you guys make are safer than the glasses of safety glasses of the past, and are more stylish than many of the stylish glasses of the past. I mean, you guys nailed it with both.
So I got to bring up the question. Okay, you're selling these in the $25 range. Why? Because you could sell them for a lot more money, make a lot more money, and maybe they'll give you a penthouse.
Yeah, they could, but it's not in my DNA. I mean, certainly we could do that. When I was with my prior company, we did a lot of that. I mean, you put the O on the product, and it commanded a premium price. Yeah. But I understand, we make a fair living off Bollé Safety Standard Issue. Our dealers make a fair living, but we provide quality eye protection. And with that, we just know that we wanted to provide eye protection that anyone can afford, and they don't have to go to a Lowe's or to a Home Depot. Nothing against those brands, great brands, but I mean
different purpose.
Different purpose.
Yeah. So how should people find Bollé? What do you? Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, Miss Marketer.
Yeah, I'm the marketing, right? Well, of course, you can always go to our website. So Bollé Safety, BolléSafety.com. Thank you. It's SI. Go to the tactical section in the website, and then also here, actually in North County Shooting Range is the first retail shooting range that does sell them.
Okay.
So you can go to the range as a user, firearms, shooter, and test them out, and it's not gonna break the bank. Like
and
you said.
Have others. If you're not a shooter, you have regular sunglasses too.
Yeah. Yes, we have. Well, we have the. the Bollé brands.
Right, that's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
and we have our store in Carlsbad.
Yeah.
So up in Carlsbad, you can go into the retail store. We'll have the full Bollé Safety Standard Issue
Wow.
line there, and we'll also have the Bollé brands there as well.
Excellent.
Anti-fog,
And-
I'm sold.
And if you guys are at North County Shooting
Yeah.
Center, Stan and Darren, those guys don't mess around. They absolutely probably had to put these glass. They don't just stock anything. I'm
No,
sure
they
that
don't- no.
they put it through the ringer and
High
if they
standards.
have it. Yeah.
And you asked about who's using these. A lot of the women. I'm in the women's shooting
stylish.
group, and the women are buying them. And if you're listening right now to this show, you can go to the website and put in IACP. Well, that was the show we were just at, IACP 50, and get 50% off the current BSSI line right now.
Holy moly.
So we are offering that. And of course, follow us on Instagram because we're always doing promotions on that, which is Bollé Safety _SI.
All right.
Yeah.
Hey, Riverside, San Bernardino. Even with the Bruin case, the gun grabbers are getting more and more desperate. Gavin Newsom's 28th Amendment would gut the second. He also just signed SB 2 that prohibits concealed carry everywhere. AB 28 adds an 11% tax on gun and ammo. So self-defense would be priced out of reach for more people. Let's face it. All these laws disarm all the people that would use a gun to defend themselves. And if you're ready to fight back and do something to defend your Second Amendment right, Inland Empire Gun Owners is for you. When you become a member, you are joining the most effective local Second Amendment advocacy group in the nation. We're growing the 2A community and are getting more pro 2A officials elected. Membership is $10 a month. Come on, you can do it. It's easy. Just go to iegunowners.com/join.
So thank you guys so much. That was really interesting. I love that you guys came in. And again, I've been a fan of the product that I've used from Bollé. You guys have been really fantastic. So I hope everybody out there is listening and runs out and buys some Bollé rather than buy the, like I said, the $150 Home Depot special, and you just wear them until you can't see through the scratches anymore.
Or until you lose them.
So, hey, we want to talk about an article that Alisha, you have.
I do.
There's what doesn't get talked about enough. There are two things I think that don't get talked about enough. One are people using firearms in a real defensive gun use situation, an actual DGU, which happens between 1 million and 3 million times per year in the United States, which is a lot. The other thing that doesn't get talked about enough is what could have gone better, kind of an after-action report. So let's talk about this. What's the article that we're talking about today?
So, the heading is going to be Armed Los Angeles Homeowner Opens Fire on Intruders and the Firefight is Caught on Camera. So just really kind of to read the main portion of the article here in case you have not heard, if you've been under a rock the last few days.
Yep.
A man holding a drink in his right hand and reaching for keys with his left approached his front door through an outdoor corridor. That's when a person wearing a ski mask and dressed in black came up from behind, put a gun to the homeowner's back, and demanded money. They briefly tussled, the beverage went flying, and the attacker fled just as the accomplice approached. The homeowner whipped out his weapon and squeezed off at least half a dozen rounds at the retreating attackers. The first attacker also opened fire before jumping into a dark sedan driven by a third person. The homeowner told Los Angeles police that he is licensed to carry a concealed weapon and that he opened fire in defense of his wife and child who were inside.
Jeez.
So, and if you go online, if you haven't seen it yet, there is a video, and just like essentially most self-defense encounters, this whole thing lasted just mere seconds.
Wow.
And if you ever go to any like a situational awareness class, or you even read those little women's defense little tidbits on Facebook where they're trying to help women, they tell you one of the few things they tell you is to have your keys prepared.
Yeah.
Right. And but how many of us actually follow through to do that? You see him, if you watch the video, you see him come up and approach his door. He's kind of reaching down in his pocket. He spends probably about a good 5 seconds trying to find his keys.
Yeah.
Is what it appears.
Yes.
And,
I do that. I'm
right.
I'm borderline paranoid. So I do
have
that
everything
kind
prepared?
of stuff. Oh my gosh, it's kind of ridiculous.
And a lot of us will say that we know that, but how many of us actually follow through and do it? But you see him kind of taking his time. He's kind of trying to figure out his keys. He's got his drink in one hand, like a Starbucks or something. He's kind of trying to find his keys with the other. And as he's just there in the corridor of his home, someone in all black comes running up.
All black in a ski
All
mask.
black
I mean,
in
this
a
is
ski
such
mask.
a cliche.
It's like out of a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you saw this in a training film, you'd be like, well, that doesn't happen.
Right.
So,
It absolutely
Julianne,
did.
do you carry for self-defense? Do you have a permit, or is that, yeah? Do you know, is that
CCW.
Yeah, you have a CCW here in San Diego. Have you noticed the people in your circle of influence? Have you noticed a huge influx of people carrying for self-defense?
Yes, definitely. A lot of my fellow women colleagues, women friends, definitely for situational awareness, what's going on. They're really aware about it, and they know about our rights and what we, should be safe. Safety is always number one concern.
I think that if you took 100 women and 100 men, you put them in a room and you showed them this video, or showed them a similar video, a scenario like that. Or even showed them a series of defensive gun use types, situations. I think that the men would kind of have this like, oh, that doesn't happen. That looks cliche. And the women are like, yeah, that happens. I need to be prepared for that. I think women absolutely understand and live in a more dangerous world.
Yeah, we do.
I think you guys experience a completely different reality than men do.
And, once you go through your basic training and how to handle it, and of course, I'm always promoting the safety part of it, you feel a lot more confident. And, it's unfortunate what's going on today, but I do have a lot more of my colleagues and friends, women who are now, aware.
Right. I get this feeling now when I if I don't carry, or if I'm sitting there trying to decide, should I strap this thing on? I'm just going to get a gallon of milk or whatever. I guess I'm hyper aware of how vulnerable I used to be. You know what I mean? Like before I carried, I was like, God, how did I get through life like this?
Yeah.
How can you go out, in public,
Right.
completely unprepared and so vulnerable? I don't know. Is that unique to me? Or?
It is different. Yeah, you do. Once you learn and you hear and you're trained on it. And just the other week there was up in Carlsbad. Just a grocery center. A woman was held up at gunpoint to get mugged, and you think about situations, and you're always being trained, and that's what we get trained on. And it's tactically, what would you do in this situation? It's a split second. I mean, such fast, thinking that, my God, what would you do? So you want to remove yourself from the situation. Obviously, that's the first thing.
And speaking to what you're saying is that there's always this risk, and you never expect it. Well, you know that and if you watch this video, you're going to see that we tend to sink to our lowest level of training. If you see this video, you see now, like, how often do we practice our draw? How often do we practice our from concealment, our draw? The draw you come out with is the grip that you're stuck with. So you don't have time like you would on the range just to sit there and adjust and get the perfect grip, get your body how you want it. You watch this guy come out of the holster. It's the crappiest grip.
But did you hear what he said? I don't think I've had enough training.
Right. And most of us don't.
And he admitted it point blank. Because he probably got a CCW and he probably hadn't been trained.
Got it just in case, but never thought he would.
Never thought in a million years. And you could tell by the way when he pulled it out, there was no way he was going to hit anything.
He was all over.
He was all, but he was scared.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Adrenaline.
Adrenaline
absolutely.
cranking like crazy. But
absolutely.
Yeah. No, I was the first. See, you and I saw that. I said, "Oh boy, this guy."
I'm honestly surprised he didn't get a malfunction. The way he had a support hand on there, actually up and over the slide, a portion of his thumb. I'm surprised he didn't get a malfunction. He was able to. He got at least a half dozen shots.
But aren't they taking away his permit?
They did take his permit, which is pretty standard.
Yeah.
While the investigation's happening, this was LA.
I don't know why they take his.
I don't either.
It's standard.
It is. You're right.
It's
standard, but I guess I don't know.
That's why
did they take his gun? Did they take his gun? Too?
I didn't read that, but I would imagine they probably did.
It wasn't permit related, though.
No,
he wasn't carrying. You know what I mean? You don't need a permit to defend your home. But yeah, they take it away. I guess temporarily. Like I said, that's standard. I've heard of that. That happens a lot. I guess I get it. I don't know if I get it or not.
One issue though that this guy, in my opinion, watching at this point. And here's the thing is putting yourself in his shoes. Do I understand what he did as a person? Absolutely. But if you look at it from a court legal perspective, he pursued. He took a few shots. At that point, these guys ran.
Which they would expect you not to shoot.
I would imagine probably.
The courts.
Well, no, it's in the shots. On the shots, I'm okay with. But what he did is he then ran and pursued and continued to shoot instead of retreating into his home for safety. That's where he's potentially going to have some issues.
You can pursue if it's necessary to eliminate the threat, but you shouldn't pursue. Once you've eliminated the threat,
and they had ran,
you can't use lethal force
But
anymore.
he didn't do
So
that.
if they're running away, that's the problem.
he was caught up in the moment.
Thank you.
I get it.
I learned that with Gary Gibson in our last meeting here. So.
Hey, the fight for the Second Amendment is also happening in Orange County. Orange
true.
County gun owners leads the fight on the city and county level to defend and protect your self-defense rights. How do they do it? They do it by fundraising and getting local pro-gun candidates elected. You need to become a member today. Go to ocgunowners.com/join and join the growing number of responsible gun owners stepping up to defend our Second Amendment right. That's ocgunowners.com.
Subscribe and win. We have another winner. If you go to gunownersradio.com and subscribe to our newsletter, that's a little, get on our email list. I don't want to call it a newsletter. It sounds like it's like we're back in like the 1960s or whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's not a newsletter.
What is it?
It's it's our email list.
That's a newsletter.
It's a news email. We got to come up with a better name than newsletter. It sounds too old school. Anyway, if you subscribe, bulletin. That's worse. All right, if you subscribe,
Ever since you
might
put
win.
those sunglasses on, you have become a pain.
Have you seen how cool I look in these
pretty
You
sunglasses?
really do.
Look
He's
at that,
spicy
buddy.
over there.
Hey, see the
Am I
girls
looking at the
scraping on.
camera?
Look at the girls scraping on the glass.
These are awesome. Bollé. We got to have Mark in more often. Every time Mark comes in, we get cool gifts.
Yeah, and you always look better.
Everybody, if you're wondering why we haven't invited you to be a guest on Gun Owners Radio, think of some really cool stuff to give us, like Bollé glasses. These are actually very cool. The frames have totally disappeared on my face.
Yes, they did.
I don't even feel them. You know, my big fat face totally fits,
I
but it
wasn't
doesn't
gonna-
look like. But it's like the same size that you're wearing. And we have slightly different sized heads,
Maybe.
and they're just as comfortable.
Slightly the same size head.
I have three different. I have totally clear. I have rose colored, and then I have dark, and they're extremely easy to go back and forth.
and you figured out how to change the lenses.
Yeah, she had to teach me, but it wasn't that hard. Okay, if you subscribe, what are we talking about here? If you subscribe,
newsletter.
you could win, and this week's winner is Jess Thompson.
I did not realize that. Russell, did you realize that?
No, I did not realize that.
If Jess, all you got to do is email prizes at gunownersradio.com, and you can claim your shirt or hat or whatever you want. We'll make sure that you have. So, yeah. So we have my very favorite guest in the whole wide world.
Whole wide world. I'll pay him later.
Yeah,
Well, he's already got sunglasses. What
I know
more
he's
would he
got,
want?
I
know.
have nothing that cool.
you didn't. Some people don't have to buy me off. Some people, their mere presence makes me smile and happy.
Oh my goodness.
Kimberly Southwell, how are you?
I am fantastic. Thank you for asking.
You bet. I'm so glad you're here. We're going to talk to you. I think we have at least a couple of segments dedicated
We do. Yep.
to you and everything that you're doing. What do you think of the glasses?
I think they're awesome.
Honestly, so you know what? I'm not even joking. I would trust your opinion over just about everybody. I think that you would give an
You're
honest
scaring
opinion. And
Don't
no,
you
really,
like Arnold?
I
He's the Toyminator.
I know you personally. You have good taste. I think you're very honest. What do you think of these glasses on me? Do they
I would like them a little wider.
a little wider?
Yeah.
All right.
But
Maybe I should. Maybe it'll be easier to narrow my face than widen the glasses.
Break out the vice.
what I do like is that they're so flush.
Yeah,
They
totally.
look like they're comfortable, and I know they're light.
And they won't fog up.
So they're
Ooh, even better. See, if I had anything that close,
It'd fog up.
It'd
Yeah.
be foggy.
so they're extremely comfortable, and I can't see the edges at all.
Yeah.
It's like it's just dark.
see.
It's just dark. I can't see the bridge, and I have this. I have one of those like Cro-Magnon, bridges across my forehead.
I can see the bridge.
Caveman Bridge.
We all
I'm
can
very
see the bridge.
caveman,
Yes.
Cro-Magnon, and I can't see it at all. It's totally perfect.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
For
Now-
$25.
And you train at North County Shooting Center, don't you?
I do.
So have you seen these guys before? You know these
have.
guys, don't you?
Bollé? Oh yeah.
Oh, nice. They
And-
treat you guys. They treat you guys well, right?
Your previous guest shot with me last Wednesday.
Yeah. She's legit.
She's legit.
She carries. She shoots with
Yeah,
you guys.
she does.
She's from San Diego.
Girl in a gun, baby.
That's
we
awesome.
know everybody.
Well, I was actually really glad to have them in. They've been super supportive. Mark is a really nice dude, and I'd never met Julian. It's not true. I'd met her before. In fact, she came to Gun Prom and gave us some cool stuff for to give away at Gun Prom, and I noticed her husband's watch from across the room.
Watch guy, of course.
And I'm like, I gotta
Watch
take
her.
it. He has this really nice Omega, and I took a picture of it. It's up on my Instagram. And she reminded me of that. And then she's wearing a Rolex. I'm like, oh my gosh, that thing's nice.
She was wearing a Rolex?
She was.
Oh, wow.
She was wearing a Rolex. It was beautiful. So we were talking about that defensive gun use up in L.A. There was also a it seems to be a fairly controversial defensive gun use here in Vista, too. On Channel 8, they reached out to me and to their credit, really asked some good questions about lethal force, which I was happy to answer to the extent of my expertise. I still don't really understand why the case in Vista is all that controversial. But for some reason, it was all over the news, and they're asking a bunch of questions. Alisha, are you familiar with that one at all?
I did some research on it, and there's at this point, everything that I read just had some basic facts, but and it just kind of says the investigation's under, still ongoing, and so there's not a whole lot of information. They just simply stated that there was a gentleman who called. I think it was around 5 a.m. Called 911, stating that he believed someone was trying to break into his home. It was in his backyard, and while he was on the phone with 911, the operator heard shots.
I didn't understand the controversy. I mean, it's
I
always
don't either. So,
could it not to interrupt, but
Sure.
could it be?
Yeah, we're trying to do a radio show here, Dave.
Could it be that he has like firearms protection? Because you notice they never really talk about an incident when somebody has, like, remember the guy in Texas in the church?
Yeah.
He had like a firearms protection, and they just stopped talking about it.
I don't know. I don't know. It could be
possible.
I think they're just like, hey, we need to cover something today.
Mm-hmm. And there wasn't any mention of the span of time, because it just stated that the person that the suspicious person was in the backyard. Did he shoot him while he was still in the backyard? That would be an issue. Had he broken in the home? We don't know a span of time. There was no mention of hearing of glass breaking or.
Did he hit him?
Yeah, he hit him.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was everything that I heard and saw. It appeared to be a very clear case,
Right.
unfortunate and sad, but a very clear case of proper use of lethal force. One of the things that Gary Gibson talked about at our monthly meeting. Gary Gibson is an attorney extraordinaire here in San Diego, and he gave a talk at our meetings last week about a defensive gun use. Well, yeah, we'll call it a defensive gun use that he was defending. And one of the things he talked about is how California, as horrible as our gun laws are, we actually have really good defensive gun use, or I should say lethal force laws. Yes. Castle Doctrine, there's no requirement to retreat. We were talking in the last segment about pursuing. We have better laws than some states that are typically thought of as very pro Second Amendment. And the reason for that is that California politically used to be a very different state. And so they put these laws in place. There's also some case law that just happened to help bolster our ability to defend ourselves as well. And that has nothing to do with the legislature. But when all these things happened, we were politically a very different state, and they just haven't gone after that yet. And honestly, I think it's going to be it would be near impossible really to mess up to put in some kind of law that would mess up our ability to defend ourselves. I mean, you never want to put anything past Sacramento and how their ability to screw everything up, but it's kind of written in stone at this point.
Hey, is there a better tool that empowers a woman to defend against an attacker that's bigger, stronger? Well, that's why it's so important for women to learn how to defend themselves with the most effective self-defense tool ever invented. And you're pretty slow, Alisha.
He didn't do the proper pause.
Well, I was trying to get past
She has a point.
Arnold over there. For women led by women, the Not Me program is designed to help with training, purchasing a gun, and getting a concealed carry permit. Guess what?
What?
It's free.
Yes.
Sign up
Go to notmesd.org. And by the way, I'm out of cards.
Not Me. We started Not Me California, which is 501c3, which means that your donations are tax deductible. And right around this time of year, folks are looking for something tax deductible to give to. Go to notmeca.org, and you can donate there.
You need to put that on her new business cards, or put on a business card, just so people have got it.
So there's the program, Not Me SD, which is that's what the actual activities. But then we set up this 501c3,
okay, so I got you.
Which is it's you're right, you're totally right. But because the org didn't exist when we made her business cards.
Excuse me, let me write that down.
NotMeCA.org.
Mike says
that Dave was right. Time and date.
you need witnesses.
Oh yeah, I'm going to get it notarized.
Unbelievable. This is what I got to put up with every week, Kimberly.
I know.
That's why I'm glad you're here.
Oh, thank goodness.
Kimberly Southwell. Now, where are you from?
Where am I from?
What's your organization?
Oh, my
that you
goodness.
represent?
Our organization, we've had a name change.
I didn't know that.
I was so excited. We were originally the DC Project,
Yeah.
and we are now Women for Gun Rights.
I didn't know that. Well, now, what's how come the change?
A lot.
Did
There were a
people
number
think
of
it
things.
was like a comic book related?
Well, they
thought
weren't sure.
DC Project?
And if people, your name, your handle, you have to kind of get out there, and when you have to explain what DC Project is,
And
every
do you
time
really
go
want to
around.
be related to DC?
Not necessarily.
I
we
like
are,
this way better.
Exactly, and this is nationwide. So
Yeah.
it's a nationwide organization.
I think that's excellent.
And I think it's great. So
Good choice.
yeah, the powers that be changed the name.
Well, I got to tell you, it's enormously. When I was picking San Diego County gun owners, I had a lot of people suggesting, well, you should call it the Liberty People
Coalition.
Rights blah blah coalition association. No, San Diego County gun owners. There's no ambiguity. There's
No ambiguity.
yeah. So I like this. I like the change. Women for gun rights.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Are you local?
I am local. I'm the state director,
Don't you
California
think
state director.
Mike, don't you think Tommy would jump all over this?
Absolutely.
KUSI?
Yeah.
Oh, heck yeah.
Come in and do a little segment and let people know?
I'd love it.
I think
So
so.
what?
too.
So
I would love it.
Did the mission change?
No, actually, the mission has not changed. We are still nationwide. It's women committed basically to safeguarding the Second Amendment. We're nonpartisan. We're daughters and mothers and sisters. And then we believe that education really is more important than any legislation that we have on the books.
Yeah.
And we just recently went to D.C. We do that every year. Mm-hmm. And I got to tell you, I am
let you in?
now. Yeah, they let us in. Yes.
Wow.
We literally had a lot of people there. 130 meetings that we made in two days.
Wow.
There were 65 women, 45 different states,
Wow.
and we had 12 teams, and we had 130 offices. So I can tell you without a doubt, education is what we need.
And they open the doors.
I know, and they let us back. I know.
What was the most surprising office you guys? What's the most surprising one that you
Got into.
heard about where you're like, oh my gosh?
Surprising? Well, I'll go best and worst. How about that?
Yeah.
So the most fun so my group, we had Nevada, Colorado, and California. And the most fun we had was in Darrell Ice's office. And the gentleman now keep in mind at this point, this is October 15, October 18. They didn't have a Speaker of the House at that point, right?
Right.
So there was a lot of things going on. So we saw Congressman Issa as when he came into his office after the first vote for Jim Jordan. And then he was whipping votes that week. So we got to speak to his number one. And so we were sitting in the office, and Chris was a retired Navy SEAL. Mm-hmm. By far the most educated, by far the most fun. We were comparing notes on who liked what, where, why. Yeah. So it was he was incredibly intelligent about not only 2A but what was going on in DC. We had a number of basically bills that we wanted pushed. He automatically said, "Hey, no problem. I'm going to write up a proposal for the 3 that you really want pushed." He didn't guarantee anything, but he was no nonsense, upbeat, very knowledgeable. So that was by far our most fun.
Good.
So the worst one, well, when you got those, and I'm going to discount the ones that they were very polite.
That turned you down, didn't even want to talk to you?
They were like, "Thank you for coming."
I hope you enjoyed your trip.
Thank you so much for being here.
Like, thank you, but no. Like, we don't even want to talk to you.
Well, no, they all talked.
Okay.
They were all professional and polite that way, but there was no interaction. It was, here's what we're here for, and the reason why it's so important for women is, we have 8.4 million voters in your districts throughout the United States. Just became, there's more gun owners here, and 40% of those are women. You might want to. This is our face. We are real. We want our own gun rights. There's a reason to listen to us. So we gave them that. We left documentation for them. There was policies and things that we were subscribing to. The programs that we support are all safety oriented. So if we stayed with the safety part of it, most of the guys were good, and they at least showed a little bit of interest and then said, thank you very much. We're talking 15 minutes max.
I was just going to say, how much time would they give
Very,
you?
very short periods of time. The surprising one, and it was negative, it was from the anti side. We knew that going in, right? And we saw it both on purpose.
And you have to talk to them.
Of course.
I'm on the edge of my seat.
Exactly.
Yeah, she should be a movie.
Yeah.
You would think, right? These guys actually, I got to ask a question, and the question was, what did this person know about an AR? That was the legit question. And of course, anything that you've heard our current residents spout, it's like a script.
Right.
A bad script, but it's still a script. It can fire so many bullets within a
Weapon of
second.
war.
It's a weapon of war. No one needs a a weapon of destruction like that, blah, 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 blah. And then we asked a couple of different questions. Well, what about it did they actually know? They've never seen it. No, they've never been involved. They don't even have a handgun. They don't even like it. So we understood exactly where they were at. But we asked him if he would be surprised if they would know that if you pulled the trigger once, only one bullet came out. It's just like any other rifle. The light bulb kind of went on, and they're like, no. I don't know, really, truly, this is really how it works. Yeah. It's what you might be describing as something that's automatic versus a semi-auto. And we can help you with any of that information. He got a little sarcastic. He didn't think we were on the level until 3 questions later. And then he was like, you could see it dawning on him that, you know what? I could be wrong. Anything I know might be wrong. Just this glimmer.
Yeah.
So it was the worst part of denial, but yet we still left information, and we got maybe a hint that you need to do a little bit more homework.
Planted a seed.
Who is this?
Maybe.
Who is this person?
This was, I think it was a representative from Colorado.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Colorado used to be, I'm leaving California and going to Colorado where they respect gun rights. Not anymore, man. Colorado is half 2A and half not 2A.
Yeah, and I
think it was Magpul left Colorado?
Yes, they all did.
Yeah.
Yeah, which, it kind of...
It was hard.
Everybody who left California and laughed in my face on the way out, told you so, cowards. So I don't feel bad at all. I'm glad that they have to fight rather than flee. I don't know where, if they're going to flee Colorado, I don't know where they're going to next.
So who was another outstanding person?
AOC?
Negative or positive? I don't care.
So keep in mind, we had 2 opposite ends of the spectrum in that we had a rally in front of the Supreme Court building.
I think spectrum's the right word, by the way.
Spectrum's a good word, right?
Yeah.
We had 100 of us in attendance, and we had a whole day training on Monday. On Wednesday, we had a press conference. So I think we had, who do we have at the press conference? We had the National Representative Congressional Committee Chairman. This is Representative Richard Hudson. He's from North Carolina. Eric Bullerson from Missouri. Marjorie Taylor Greene from Georgia. And Kat Comack from Florida. They were all at our press conference.
So they actually came.
They came. They spoke. They're ready to go.
Spoke too.
Yes, sir.
Did anybody try to go talk to AOC?
Keep in mind that everybody was pretty busy.
She was bartending.
She could have been. She could have been,
She's got to make some kind of money, pay for her Tesla.
I thought that's what we did,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, that's right. It is our money.
Exactly. It's our money. They forget all these things.
So no one threw you out.
No one threw us out of, again, with all the 130 offices that we went in, and we were in and out of both the Senate side and the House side. It took us a couple of days to do that.
So when you going back?
Next year for sure. But in the meantime, now I get to wrap my arms around what we need to do here in the state of California.
Right.
That's my job.
So you haven't been to Sacramento yet?
Not yet. But I'm starting here in Mike Levine's office, and we have
Mike Levine.
There we
Good
have.
luck with that.
Yeah. Well, you know.
Have you ever thought about taking him to the range and say, we'd like to invite you to the range?
You know,
Or
his
do you
office,
trust yourself?
Of course I do. His office is within 5 minutes of my home and within 10 minutes of Ironside there in Oceanside. So I will absolutely meet him anytime
no, I'm
his
talking
little
about
heart
in
desires.
D.C.
Oh, to range? No, I'm going to meet him on my home turf right here in Oceanside.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, when you go back, every time you talk to these people, say, I have a personal invitation to take you to the range.
Absolutely. Those guys, you know, there were a number of people that, and keep in mind that when we're in D.C., we talk federally only because that's really what we're there to do it.
Right.
And so when we're back at the States, we do. There was a lot of interaction from girls that had been in the D.C. project, now Women for Gun Rights, for many years. So they knew these guys. They were on a first-name basis at home as well as D.C. So there are those things on the table at any time.
Yeah, because, you know, you always think about, do you like Brussels sprouts? Oh, I hate Brussels sprouts. Have you ever ate a Brussels sprout? No.
Exactly.
And I think that's with the AR question. Say, why don't you just come to the range with us?
Come on.
Bring
I'll meet you up
your
there.
security, in case you don't trust me. And let me show you what this weapon is all about.
It's right.
Because you might turn on another light.
We might. One of the bigger things were like about a stock. You know, the bump stock came up, of course.
Of course.
Well, when you explain that, you know, a 6-foot size guy can shoot the same gun as a 5-foot woman.
Yeah.
When you can adjust the stock, and that's
stock.
really all it does.
That's all it does. Yeah, but
Not
they
a-
don't understand it.
Not a bump stock. You're talking about telescope.
Telescoping.
Hey, a lot of companies waste an enormous amount of money on marketing. The design is excellent, the photos are beautiful, and your website looks great. But you know what? It's just not getting customers. Why? Because you don't have the words that make people buy. But now you can fix that with Sage Tree. Sage Tree can help you find the words that make it easy for your customer to understand and what to do and how to buy from you. Stop wasting money today and schedule a call. Getting started is real easy. Visit sagetree.com. Click on the Schedule an Appointment button. That's all it takes. That's sagetree.com and click on the Schedule a Call button now.
Dude, these glasses are awesome.
I know they look better on top of your head.
They look better on top of my head. There we go.
All purpose.
I just took them
Hold
off.
back your hair.
I just took them off during the commercial, and it
About passed out.
Yeah, well, they're crystal clear, but they're nice and dark. The amber ones are cool. They came with 3 different frames. They came with a little carry case, which is adorable.
See, and it's got a look.
Adorable.
It's got
Adorable?
Velcro, so you can put it on your belt.
Yep, it's kind of like it's almost. I guess you could fit this on like a Molly rig,
Yeah, sure. Yeah, exactly.
but it's Velcro,
That could be your baby purse.
and you have three
Lenses in there.
3 lenses.
And instructions.
I'm not. Yeah,
Yeah,
throw
throw
that.
those.
He's a man. He's
Throw
throwing them
those
away.
Yeah, we don't need
Yeah.
no stinking instructions.
Heaven
So
forbid.
I got to tell you, it's pretty cool. And they got a sticker. I don't need a sticker.
Yeah, you put that on the dash of your Jeep.
I'm not putting this on the dash of my Jeep. Come on, Dave.
It's a Jeep.
Yeah, it's for rubber duckies only.
Rubber
You have to be.
duckies
You
only.
got to be a Jeep guy to understand that
I'm a sticker guy.
joke. So in all seriousness, okay. So who else? It's not DC Project anymore. It's Women for Gun Rights.
Women for Gun Rights.
And what else was surprising to you about, or has been surprising to you about your trips to DC? Does anything jump out? Do you have any interesting conversations or?
Oh my gosh. We had a room full, about 100 people in for our basic training, and it was amazing because you think we're a lot of people that were there that had never been there before. So we were learning about basic civics, how you engage someone politically, social media in 2A, what to do, not what not to do, what they wanted, hostile communications. I mean, we were speaking about all of that. Diana Mueller, of course, who our founder.
Right.
Love Diana.
Multiple-time national 3-gun winner.
She's a rock star.
Total rock star.
Love her.
Robin Sandoval, executive director.
Another rock star.
AGAG. Chris Cox. Do y'all know who Chris Cox is?
Yeah, former Isla.
That's the guy.
NRA?
Current president, Capital Six Advisors. He was there talking to us. Dick Heller.
Heard of him?
So
Slightly important lawsuit he filed.
Exactly. He was a special DC officer,
Yeah.
and he filed for
Carry permit.
and was denied
Yep. 2008, Heller versus DC.
and won.
Yep.
Very cool.
You got to meet that dude?
I did. I got to take pictures and everything with him.
He's a hoot.
He is a hoot. Absolute hoot. Antonia Okafor,
Oh, she's wonderful.
founder of Empowered 2A.
Yeah, I think she does some work for GOA, Gun Owners of America now.
She
right?
does.
Yeah.
Absolutely does. Awesome people. I can't tell. I mean, there was so much information that came out and what, whys, and wheres. They were incredible, incredible people.
You know what's amazing to me is they really are incredible people. So everybody I know in the 2A world, particularly people that end up in a like an action position or a leadership position, like yourself, are absolutely wonderful, well-informed people who have no problem saying, yeah, let's sit down and have a conversation. Let's talk about this. You know, you want to debate, you want to lecture, you want whatever. You just want a conversation. Let's do it. The other side, not as confident.
That was the confirmation when we were going in and out of these offices. Now, keep in mind, they were both pro and against. Right. The conversation that we had with them is, number one, we left 3 pieces of paper for their purposes.
Right.
Things that meant something to them that they could pull from and use.
Right.
Then they said that our entire group was so polite and professional,
Yeah.
unlike other groups.
The lunatics on the other side.
And that was something that, even though we disagreed, we agreed to disagree, but we found the middle, and that's safety. Everybody wants safety.
Yeah.
And that's literally where, if we stayed to that safety part in an anti-office, they learned something. I mean, we have like 5, 6 programs that we support on a nationwide basis. That's empowered. You can go out and take care of any of these kids.
Yeah.
And that's what we want to
Sure.
save.
Well, there's a lot of
They can get behind that.
There's like a bunch of old sayings, like if you have the facts, pound on the facts. If you don't have the facts, pound on the desk. You know, and the facts are on our side, so we're just
They
like,
are.
hey, here's how it is.
So out of the playbook of the other side,
Yeah.
they were told, don't even worry about the facts. They will never win against us on the facts. Play on the emotion.
Well, okay, so
That's what they did.
I agree. Well, and I think we should do a better job of pulling heartstrings. I don't
Yeah.
think that's a bad thing. But
that's all they had. is
But
their
that's
point.
all they had, and they just and when they just their whole tactic is to just say it really loud.
And
Whereas I think we can
beat
go
you over the head with it. Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I think that an example of how we could do things better is, give a statistic. 1 million to 3 million times per year people use a firearm to stop or prevent a violent crime. That's a statistic, and then follow up and say, I care about single moms, I care about women, I care about the LGBT community, and I want them to have the opportunity to be able to be one of the 1 million to 3 million who defend themselves, rather than the X million who become victims.
And we don't need any more victims.
We
really
certainly don't. But I think that's I think that's a good idea.
I agree.
Whereas the other side, they use emotion, and then they in like an accusatory manner.
Very much so.
And
and they really don't have much to back that up.
No, they don't.
Just
Because-
another emotional plug.
Because it's all on our side, really. I mean, if and I think that we have, there's a lot of room for improvement across the board, and all of us, not just. I'm not talking about any group. I think that we all could do a better job of explaining why we care about people, because that's really what that's really what it's about. I mean,
But it's really scary when you have to get up in front, or you have to
Sure.
speak your mind, and you're pro, and what people do with that information these days
Yeah.
is very scary.
yeah. Oh, believe me.
So I
you should see my inbox.
I bet. So if they don't like something that you said, and heaven forbid you're pro 2A,
Yeah.
it's become a dirty word.
Yeah.
And it went, and people go on attack.
Yeah. But
So
I-
people don't want to speak up
I will say this. I say that kind of, half in jest, but half telling the truth. Look, you should see my inbox. Most of my inbox, most of my inbox is junk mail. But you get past that, when people do comment on like an appearance or a statement or something like that, 90% are like, "Hey, thank you." That's exactly how I feel. Thank goodness that somebody's on, 6 o'clock news saying that. And then it's just the occasional like, you're a jerk. And it's not even like, hey, you know what, you're wrong, and here's why you're wrong. It's just they don't like, you're just a jerk. I'm not attractive enough for them. There's a lot of people on the other side that don't find me very attractive, Kimberly, and they remind me of that.
That's just not true.
I know, and I'm like,
it's not true.
I'm like San Diego County Gun Owner. It's not a dating app,
Not that I knew, anyway.
Wait, it's not?
Did I miss that?
I'm out.
If it is, it ain't working.
It's not working.
I think that what you guys are doing is amazing and good, and I think that you guys have it's all the right people doing it too.
We have an incredible powerhouse team. We really, really do.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. How long were you in DC for?
I went in on the 14th of October and came home on the 18th.
That's
so
awesome.
Short trip.
Yeah. Well, still, how cool is that?
It was incredibly cool.
What's 2024 look like for you guys?
2024, I have been invited to go to the Ambassador Academy.
Oh.
And that would be held in the WAFT Orlando facility. So that'll be
means.
That's where our family trains. There's a big facility.
WAFT?
WAFT.
Does that stand for something?
Where our family trains.
Oh, okay.
Orlando, Florida.
Gotcha.
And I'll be there for 5 days.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of training and how to talk and how to deal with all of the adversary of the things you get when you're doing advocacy.
Right.
So that will be that.
Maybe you guys can. Did you go to the gun show that we had here? It was a little far. I know you're up more in North County. Did you hit the gun show? Well,
I did not. Several of our folks did.
Good.
There's a lot of people that went down. So
first weekend of March at the Legacy Center in Mission Valley, we're having the third gun show. We did a couple at this
Masonic
Lodge, which is great. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Masonic Lodge.
Absolutely.
You guys did a wonderful
Couldn't
job.
have done it without them.
But we're going to change venues. We think we've grown a little, and we need to go to a different venue. And
I'm so glad you guys have grown.
Yeah, well, the Legacy Center
gosh.
I think is going to be great. But maybe we could have you come talk during the symposium or something like that.
Be my pleasure.
Yeah,
Love to do
you've
it.
been to the Legacy Center, haven't you? In Mission Valley? No, you haven't been there.
I don't think so.
That new one on the south side of the 8.
Yeah.
Right across from Courtesy Chevrolet.
Republican Women's held a big event there.
It's a humongous building that you can't tell what it is.
That's probably
Yeah.
why I've never been to it.
Yeah.
Well, now there's a hotel there. It says Legacy Hotel.
Yep.
They have a hotel and a steakhouse, but they also have these they have a big, huge, like 500-seat theater. I think it looks like we're going to have like some kind of Second Amendment movie night on Saturday night, which should be cool.
That would be cool.
Guess what I'm trying to get them to play?
Red Dawn.
That's right.
No, wait.
Well, we'll
the
see.
original one or the new one?
Everybody says that. There is no second
Yeah,
one.
no,
There
there's
is
the
Red
only-
Dawn.
Okay. I
The
just want to make sure.
1984 documentary.
Okay, now we have a date to
and
it.
that's
All
it.
right.
There's no other.
That's Laura Ingram's favorite movie off Fox 5.
No, really?
She came right out and said it. She said, best movie ever made.
I got to
Ever
talk to her.
made.
We need to get her on the show.
I know. Get a hold of
You know
Red.
what? Seriously, if we end up showing it, we need to get her out there and
She would be all over it,
do
dude.
like an intro or something.
She'd be all over it.
That
Anyway,
would be so much fun.
Kimberly, well, you're coming. You're gonna
Absolutely, so
make
I'll be
it
there.
fun.
I will make it fun.
If I got to get you and John, I'm gonna drive to North County and get you and John
Put
in my
you in
Jeep.
his Jeep.
in the
and you
Jeep.
guys are
I'm
coming.
in.
Bring your rubber ducky.
Thank you so
Oh,
much
and rubber duck.
Hey,
for
bring your AAA card.
everything
Yes, sir.
that you guys do. Please thank all the wonderful ladies and everybody that helps support because you guys are awesome.
Oh,
And
well,
he'll
thank
send,
you.
and you
Thank
should
thank
send
you.
this info to Tommy.
Yeah.
And
John K.
women,
USA.
I was going to say womenforgunright.org.
Hey, if you're a gun owner and if you've ever need to use your gun to protect yourself or your loved ones, you need legal protection. Even if you do everything right, even if you're 100% justified, you should be prepared for the legal battle after your self-defense battle. We're seeing it right here in San Diego when an innocent man showed his firearm to discourage a violent attacker. And he had to spend thousands of dollars in legal fees to restore his freedom and rights.
That's why you need firearms legal protection. When you join, you get uncapped legal protection for self-defense, for civil or criminal cases with a 24/7 hotline. Joining is real easy. Just go to firearmslegal.com and click on Become a Member. Use code GOR for a discount. Enjoy the peace of mind knowing that you are protected. If you are ever involved in self-defense incident, firearmslegal.com and use that discount code GOR.
Still playing with my glasses here, Dave.
Yeah, I know. Well, any toy will help.
You know what I just realized?
You got the strap you do to hold on your head?
I didn't put the little nose thinger on.
Oh, well, that's why.
I'll bet you they're even more comfortable with
I
the
know.
little
Would
nose.
you like me to take that off for you before you shatter those
No, I don't.
shatterproof
No.
glasses?
Could be a brute.
Look at you.
There, I did it.
Oh, you didn't have those? Well, no wonder it didn't fit.
Well, maybe that's why it fit.
Oh,
We're
that's
about
right.
to find out if I'm going to continue on with this nose thinger or not. All right, what are we doing? Everyone's favorite segment, Stump
My nephew.
We found out years ago that Sam, the gunman, I think we have intro music for this now, don't we?
I thought so. Do we not?
I never made intro music. I'll do it now for the next show. How about
It's
that?
too late.
It's too late.
Never mind.
Sam,
Let's all
Sam,
just go home.
Sam the
Thanks a
gunman.
lot. We
Sam,
might as well
Sam,
just go
Sam the
home.
gunman. Sam the gunman. There you go.
Oh, no, you can't
Right
do
on the
that.
spot.
No,
I like
that
it,
was
Brandon. Good
terrible.
job.
No, that was terrible.
I'm glad I asked. You know what? I think I'm going to wear these without the little nose thinger.
Is it better without?
Well, for my big nose.
Big honker.
Okay, all right. We found out years ago that Sam, my nephew, is extremely good when it comes to gun trivia. And so now we, if you send in a really cool gun trivia question, we use it on the air, we'll send you a hat or a shirt.
Yep.
If you stump my knucklehead nephew, then you get a very special gift.
Knucklehead?
He's a little knucklehead.
Knucklehead?
He's not a knucklehead.
Anyone under the age of 30
In a way.
qualifies.
So here we go. Sam, you there?
Do not give me intro music, please.
Thank you.
I don't know. I kind of liked it. Brendan, you want to hit that one more time real quick?
No, just move
Sam,
on.
Sam.
I like it.
No, it's terrible.
It's classy.
No, it's not.
Okay. So we're gonna have. I think we're gonna have Kimberly read the question.
Sure.
See what the question is,
Yeah, he's only giving it to you because he can't pronounce it.
and because I can't read it.
He's not alone.
I don't know if I can pronounce it. This could be scary.
It's Sam. SAM.
Oh, no, I got that.
That's the easy part.
Anthony from Los Angeles asks, what is a Windkanone?
Canone?
Canone?
Yeah, it's
Is
a
it like cannoli?
Windkanone? Sam, what is that?
Windkanone.
Vindkanona?
Well, I think it's
Sure.
O-N-E would make it Canone.
Canone or Canone?
Depends on its
Well,
origin.
it depends on the language. Anthony from Los Angeles, thanks for writing in. Sorry you live in Los Angeles, but I guess someone's got to take one for the team.
That's right.
What is a Vindkanona? You know?
Good question.
Uh-oh.
That's a
I
good
have
question.
no idea.
When he starts out with,
I know there's the Canadian.
Well, no, it's just I take after your dad.
Whoa,
know.
very good.
all right. So let's look at this.
All right.
You have no idea. Can't even take a guess. Do you have any idea what that translates to?
Yeah, break out the name.
Can we give him a country
Well-
of origin?
Well,
Like a
assuming
lifeline?
based on the name, based on the spelling of the name, this is German or from some German-speaking country.
Correct.
Wind is a cognate; it means wind, and canona also cognate means cannon. So I'm going to guess it is.
How would he know that?
He just knows it. He just knows these things.
What?
Didn't you know it, dude?
That's right. Keep going.
Yeah, right.
Keep going.
So I'm, I don't know the answer, but if I had to go out on a limb and venture a guess, I would say this is some type of artillery piece designed to move air rather than a ballistic projectile. But for what purpose, I could not even begin to guess. What's the answer?
Yeah, that's a
He's
really
got
good.
You are so
he got
close.
it. He got it. Enough.
Closer than
Yeah.
we would have got it.
Is it
Absolutely.
close enough?
Yeah, it
Read
says
the
it's
answer.
Read the
All right.
answer.
So guess who designed this? Guess which German political party designed this awesome weapon.
Oh, well, if it's some kind of weird pie in the sky invention, that seems completely impractical. It has to be World War II era Nazi German technology.
That's right. So the Nazis, the wonder weapon of World War II aimed.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait.
Oh.
Was this that device that was theorized to be able to bring down aircraft just by creating turbulent pockets of air?
There you go.
Exactly.
Okay, I have heard of that. I didn't know what it was called.
He just.
I would have.
That's
there's
why.
no way.
I know.
There's no.
That's why I just let's just talk him through it a little bit.
Let it simmer.
The Windkanone or whatever it's called, a Nazi wonder weapon of World War II, aimed to down aircraft with air blasts, but failed. This 35-foot iron tube with a 3-foot diameter used an ammonia hydrogen blast to generate wind. Theoretically effective within 492 feet, ineffective in practice, it was discarded after minimal disruption to enemy planes in 1945. So it looks like, by the way, 1945, too little, too late, guys. So
took a while to design it.
Yeah. So it looks like they actually had a model, and they tried it, and it didn't really do anything. Does that sound like the fact? How do you know about this, Sam?
Not through firearm research, which is why I didn't know the name, but through looking at aviation books.
Yeah. Yep.
Very good.
Another good hobby. Awesome job. So, Anthony from L.A., you get a hat or a shirt. But you did not stump my nephew. We had to.
He almost got me. That was a really good one.
It was pretty
a
close.
really good
Doesn't
one.
he get like an honorable mention? You know, that
He gets
was
an
good.
honorable mention from me.
Exactly.
Anthony, you get my undying respect.
That's pretty good.
Anybody that dares to be a gun owner in L.A. gets all kinds of honorable mention.
Yeah,
from
like
me.
he's
I
gonna
gotta
wear this hat in L.A.
Yeah, exactly.
You never know. You never know.
Well, good job, Anthony. It's good try. We'll send you a hat and a shirt. Why don't we do that?
Yeah.
We'll send you a hat and a shirt for doing such
There
a
you
good
go.
job.
Good job.
But you didn't stump him. He did a pretty good job. You almost did, but we talked him through it a little bit.
No, remember he stopped us about a quarter through. He goes, "Wait,
Yep.
wait."
And even before that, he really
Yeah,
by knowing the
we're gonna
origin
give
of the
you
word.
credit. We're going to give you credit on that one.
That's what you got to do.
You know, I have to say,
Origins.
my body heat's putting off a lot of heat, a lot of warmth in these glasses. Zero fog.
Yeah.
I can
I know.
feel the
They're
heat.
so cool.
No fog.
No, we can see your steam coming off of your head.
I do this thing where I breathed into the glasses and it usually fogs it up.
Yeah.
And then I get all frustrated with myself and it didn't fog it up.
Well, you got to stop breathing.
Well, just wait.
It'll quit.
It's only a matter of time, Dave.
Goes with the theme of the segment, all about wind.
I know it's all about wind.
about
Yeah,
wind.
I gave my glasses a burst of
hydrogen.
of hydrogen and ammonia or whatever the heck they used. Ammonia hydrogen. Why would it be an ammonia hydrogen blast, Sam?
That's your fuel. I'm guessing they were using ammonia. Ammonia is an oxidizer, so hydrogen is your fuel. That's where you get your chemical reaction.
See, Kimberly said it wasn't an oxidizer. I said it was an oxidizer. Thank you for settling that.
Well,
I think I won
okay,
there,
I
Kimberly.
am
Totally
not a
won.
degreed
Totally
chemist.
won.
I think ammonia is an oxidizer. Someone will have to fact check me on that.
All right, so listeners, please fact check Sam on that. Find out if it is an oxidizer or not, and if you write in and confirm it was or was not an oxidizer, we'll give you a hat or a shirt, and we'll also call you a nerd. Do you have a blog that you want to talk about and promote? An article?
I have one about to go up tomorrow morning.
What you want to give us a preview?
I do not.
Okay.
Ooh.
So there,
That's
neener,
surprising.
neener.
Well, all right, we'll be surprised then. Is that why you want us surprised?
Yeah, it's nothing really consequential. It's a fun one, so I want you to be surprised.
Okay, good. Awesome. Well, I will look for it tomorrow morning. All right, my friend. Awesome job, as always. Thank you, Kimberly, for reading the question, and great job, Sam.
A nice new name.
Thank you. Good night.
All right. Well, there you go. That was a good show.
Is it over?
His mom just texted me, ammonia is an oxidizer.
There's your confirmation.
You just have no luck.
know. Thanks, Nance.
You have no luck.
No, I was right on that one.
I know. Hey,
Kimberly was
folks.
trying to
I
convince
must
me.
have been wrong.
Thanks for watching this episode from Gun Owners Radio. If you're watching mainstream media, you're not getting the truth about guns and the Second Amendment. Gun Owners Radio is the easiest way to stay on top of the Second Amendment fight, the fight for your self-defense rights. You can watch our live stream on YouTube every Sunday from 4 to 6 p.m. California time, or if you're in San Diego, AM 1170, FM 96.1, The Answer. We're also available on your favorite podcast platform. Just do a search for Gun Owners Radio and you'll find our show. Don't forget to support our sponsors. Click on the links in the show notes and support the businesses that support your Second Amendment rights. Like and subscribe to help defend and restore the Second Amendment, not just in California, but across the country.